trustees of a very old Hindu temple.
Thank you very much. Chairman. I'm not going to speak as a trustee because I'm not going to touch about temple. But I'm going to say is India is a very powerful country. It's one of the world powers, and we expect India to act as a world power. When there were problems in Middle East during Christian time, they took that up and they were fighting for justice. But the same thing can't be said with Tamils in Sri Lanka. The Indian community, the state plantation workers were defranchised, and Indian government didn't take any meaningful action. Same thing when our leaders, there's a misunderstanding about our leaders. We think that we are racialist. We are not. What our leaders, like Mr. Selvam, wanted was a setup where Tamils can live with dignity and as equal citizens. In a country like Ceylon, which is highly centralized power government, and democracy setup doesn't work in the interest of the minorities. So what Mr. Selvam wanted was a setup so that the powers can be decentralized with limited powers for the central government. But as things are, we know, even if we get a devolution, a federal form of government, with the powers, the issuing powers with the central government, they can re-centralize also at any time. So what we need is international communities' involvement in any settlement, because anything that they give can be taken away because the powers are centralized. That is why we need India to act as a world power, we don't want them to help us because we are Tamils, because there are Tamils in Sri Lanka, in India. We want justice. We want India to fight for justice. Now, for some years, Indian government has failed in its duties in world politics. During Christian time, they were fighting for justice. Now they think in terms of their security, Indian security. And a government like Sri Lanka, a small, tiny country, appears to be a threat to Sri Lanka, India. It's not that. They must stand up and fight for justice. And what we need, even if we have a federal form of government, we want that to be guaranteed by international communities so that it won't be taken back. Thank you.
President well said that we would like to see people coming together to do something, but Tamil has got one weakness. That is, the weakness is, I want to do it. I want to do it. But they don't want to take that we want to do this, but never take that attitude as we. So I think we need to take that attitude here. We need to do it, so we need to do it as a team. But I have one little suggestion, and Mr. Tharun Vijay has mentioned earlier that he was talking about devolution of power. I believe that devolution of power will consist the number of following items when you consider. That's initially starting from releasing the prisoners from the Sri Lankan prisoners of war, police forces of devolution of power to be given to the Tamil people, and the land grab is a major issue back in Sri Lanka. The reason Mr. Gentleman has already raised about agriculture. The reason we can't agriculture in our homeland, if our lands have been grabbed by the Sri Lankan government, the land needs to be released by the Sri Lankan government. Therefore, we can have our cultivation there. We used to import from north and east. We export the vegetables to south those days. Now the whole country has to wait for the vegetable from the neighboring countries. And the sea, we are starting from Mannar up to Ambara. We are covering the half of the area. Ms. Bharatakumar earlier well said that the sea area needs to be released to our people. Now we have fishermen coming from Indonesia and neighboring countries to fish in our own water. That needs to be stopped. By doing this, I can tell you overnight, you can give employment to 100,000 Tamils in our land. That probably I think we need to do the first agenda. Agriculture, the land needs to be released to Tamil people, and the sea area to be released to Tamil people, so therefore at least they can start the economy gradually. We're talking about the economy, we are talking about building factories, empires. We are talking right now, we are talking about 2.5 to 3 million people in Sri Lanka. Sorry, my speech is longer. 2.5 to 3 million people right now. Expatriate, we are talking about 1.5 million people. So we have two times there, one time overseas. I can bet you, we are here from this overseas to help and build our nation. If we can give us a room to get in there, put our food there, and bring us together. Thank you.
I'm so thrilled because you have so much to say and you have accumulated so many issues which have been bothering your mind as a very, very sensitive and a sincere Tamil member of the society. So I appreciate it. And these are the suggestions for action. And this also shows the great success of a very first meeting, because you have been able to open up and you have been able to share these views, and these are all views which have perturbed all of you. So that's what I can say. And these are